Andrew, obviously, first off, McGavin in concussion protocol still. How is he tracking just personally, I suppose, with the anticipation or the not knowing what the future holds, I suppose?
Yeah, look, Gov's doing okay. The unknown is a bit of a challenge, but he's doing okay. We're going to continue to support him. He'll have a couple of days off work as we go to Adelaide this weekend, and then it's just so uncertain at the moment what happens next, so we sort of can't speculate too much on what will happen next. We know it's going to the panel, and when that's decided and when that will happen, we're not sure yet. So we'll just wait and see him and keep supporting Gov through the process.
Does he sort of act like business as usual until then in terms of when he's back at the club and training, or do you guys have to ease that back? How does that work?
No, he's just it's just business as usual at the moment. Yeah.
Interesting though that football-wise, you've not had your reigning club champion for most of the year and not had the runner-up at all this year. For a first-year coach, that's pretty hard. Is that something that you've thought about at times? It'd be like, it's like coaching with one hand behind your back a little bit?
Oh, it's not that, but I'll tell you what I thought about when we were obviously having so much trouble at clearance, and then I saw her last time we played stat, and Yowie had 15 clearances in a game. So clearly you always want your best players playing, but it's also football. There's always injuries in our game, and we've got a really deep squad. We've been incredibly healthy this year. Medical team's doing a great job. So I don't have too much to complain about in that position.
Just regarding Gov, how do you emotionally support a player going through such a big thing in his life?
Yeah, well, you just treat it day by day, and you support him as you would support any other injury. So we understand it's a challenging time, but you know, Gov's been doing this for a long time. He's a very mature guy. He's got a great family and network around him as well. So yeah, we just do it as we would with any other player.
And normally with players, if concussion lingers a bit, we saw with Sukowski last year, like maybe 3-4 weeks, and then he passes. With Gov, it seems like quite quickly he's gone to the panel. Were there some worrying signs there, like super early on, that you thought, okay, this is bigger than just maybe, 3-4 week kind of thing?
Look, I'm probably not going to even answer that question because it's too much to speculate. I think the reason why Gov's gone to a panel is because there's been a number of concussions over a period of time. It's out of our hands now, and we'll just leave it to the experts.
How does that affect your planning, both short term and long term?
No different. Like, we have injuries every week, players unavailable, so we understand the key back is a bit of a shallow position for us in our club, but we've got guys improving and playing that spot every week. So I think Harry and Sandy played really good game of footy last week, and they're building their craft, and we'll keep looking to build some stocks there as well.
Would you consider sending Oscar back, Andrew, with the 3 tall pros?
Yeah, we talk about it regularly about we're going to play Oscar, and I'll keep saying it, wherever the team needs him. So we got main training today. We'll work through that. Understand the Crows do have a tall forward line they rely on a lot, so we've got to get our contest right in that space, and we'll pick a team we think most capable to do that.
Is Rhett Bazzo around the mark? You feel like he's almost ready to come back into footy, or AFL footy, sorry?
Yeah, he is. He's definitely around the mark. He's improving every week. Missed a lot of football. He's played maybe 4 or 5 games in a row now of waffle games, and he's training well. He's improving every week. So yeah, he's starting to put himself in a position where he's ready to go.
Obviously, big breakthrough win. Has there been a bit of a balance this week with just ensuring the young group doesn't sort of get swept away in that?
Yeah, look, to be honest, we've kept it really consistent the way we've reviewed the week. It hasn't been too different at all. So the way we reviewed the game on Tuesday was very similar to other weeks. We showed the players things that we did well, and we found parts of our game that we think we can get better quickly as well. So yeah, it's exciting to win, but it's also not the end of the journey, clearly. We've still got a lot of room to grow, and excited by that.
And injuries to a couple of your forwards as well. Does that mean Liam Ryan maybe needs to come back into attack and you bring more mids in, or do you look to kind of top up the forward line instead? Yeah,
so I think, so we've lost 2 of our half forwards. That's what's happened this week. So we'll miss those guys for, 2 to 4 weeks, whatever that looks like. But part of the juggle is trying to find the best mix, and so we'll work through that as a match committee, train today. Grossi came in and played a bit of that role last week for 2.5 quarters, and I thought he did quite well. So, and there's some other players on our list that have been playing that role for a fair while too. So, yeah, we will replace those guys the best way we can.
Will there be any debutants this week to declare?
No, I can't declare now. We'll get through training and see, potentially, but there's a little bit still to get through.
A young guy like Bo Allen to a bit of a stop-start time at the moment. How are you continuing to manage him in AFL football? I know he's always one that's sort of around the mark, but Eagles fans are keen to see him, and you're trying to make sure he has a long career.
Yeah. Yep, I'm keen to see him too. He's just had such a stop-start, as you said. Like he's played 2 weeks of footy, then missed 1 or 2, then played. So it's been a challenge. He's available for selection this weekend, so we'll train today. We know we're really strong on what we think Bo can bring long-term to us, but I'll keep saying we're going to keep setting him up for success when he's ready. Obviously, after a good performance, the team will have less changes than potentially after a poor performance. So we'll train today and see where it ends up.
Zach Rankin's a bit of a challenge for most teams. His ability to play midfield and go forward, how do you look to try and stop him? And is that something Brady Hoff's going to have a look at? Yeah, we'll look into it for sure. He's playing a fair bit more midfield than he has in the last couple of years, looking at the numbers and watching the game. So, they've changed their midfield mix since last year, so it is different. He's an electric player, really hard to stop, so we're going to have some plans for him for sure. But they've also got a few others, Dawson and Rochelle going through there, that are pretty damaging to Ligo as well.
So the AFL's meeting with some senior coaches. Andrew, do you get that chance from WA, and what would you advocate for?
Yeah. I did get a text saying that I will have a dinner with them. It's not just we're left out in the dark, so that'll happen when it happens. I think it's a great thing that the AFL's looking to get input from the coaches in the game. I haven't put too much thought into it yet, what we'll talk to them about, but I just think it's great from a relationship point of view and getting on the same page about what we want out of the game.
Andrew, I think Harley was obviously heavily criticised earlier in the year. The last 2 weeks, I think he's rated the number 4 midfielder in the AFL. How have you seen his build into the year, considering he had a bit of a stop-start pre-season? Yeah, I think it's been there for all to see that he had a challenging start to the year. And we've obviously moved him positions a couple of times, moved him back, and now we've settled him back through the midfield. I think he's building every week, he's growing, he's competing really hard, and I think he's just going to get better every week. I'm really looking forward to the second half of the year for Harley, or last 2/3 of the year. I think he's in a good space and helping our team. I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but after this week, you've got a month at home. How exciting is that for the group as well, just to be sort of stable for a while, considering you do travel so much? Yeah. I don't think it's ever happened, has it? With West Coast having a month at home in a row, so that's awesome. We're wrapped. We get to spend more nights in our own beds. We get really consistent training. Good for the program during the week as well. So yeah, it's great. Excited to go down to Bunbury and play our game down there, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, not have to jump on the aeroplane will be a good result.
Harry Edwards seems to have really embraced the extra responsibility. What have you seen from him in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think Harry's played 2 really strong games. We were really clear on what we wanted out of Harry when we sent him back to the Waffle, and it's a credit to him for going away, working on his game, and understanding what his role in our team is. And he's competing really hard.
And you mentioned McGavin, you'll give him a couple of days off. Do you give him an off-field role over the next few weeks or anything like that?
Look, Gov's one of our leaders, and he's still one of our terrific leaders. He's been involved all week in our leadership meetings and our meetings in general. But we just, because we don't know when the panel's going to get together, it's sort of, we're not going to make too many other decisions around it yet.
Is there a type of play you have in mind for the mid-season draft, and how involved are you in the approach to that?
Look, I'm a little bit involved, but we've got a great team together that's been putting a power of work into it. The mindset we have is to take the best player available. So the guys have next Wednesday, I think it is, so really exciting for our club. We're going to have at least 1 pick in it, which is awesome. And whoever we bring in, really look forward to it and start their career with West Coast next week.
The club during the week was linked to both Will Phillips and Darcy Cameron. You keen on those guys?
Yeah, I probably won't speak to players from other clubs. Like every club in this industry is looking to improve their list all the time. We're no different, so we'll keep finding ways to do that. But I don't think it's the right thing to speak about individuals at other clubs.
You mentioned at least 1 pick in the mid-season draft. Is there any players that you might look at putting under the long-term injury? Is that something that could happen with Gov, or is there still just too much uncertainty? No, that's not something that we're planning on doing at this stage. It's just that we've got a week of footy to go, and hopefully we don't get another pick, because it means someone goes down, but we'll see.